There is a joke the internet has been telling for 20 years. Chuck Norris doesn't die. Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the earth down. For 2 decades, the world made Chuck Norris immortal, in memes, in jokes, in legend. And then, on March 19th, 2026, 10 days after his 86th birthday, the world had to reckon with something it never truly prepared for. Chuck Norris was gone. His family announced his sudden passing the following day. They said he was surrounded by loved ones. They said he was at peace. And in living rooms and gyms and movie theaters in every corner of the world, people stopped. Because some legends feel like they will never leave. Chuck Norris was one of them. And Carlos Ray Norris was born on March 10th, 1940 in Ryan, Oklahoma, a small town, a humble beginning, a childhood shaped by hardship, a difficult family life, and a quiet determination that would eventually shake the entire world. He was not born a legend. He was not handed anything. As a young man, shy, introverted, and by his own admission, not particularly confident, Chuck Norris enlisted in the United States Air Force. It was there, stationed in South Korea, that he discovered the martial art that would define the rest of his life. Tang Soo Do, he studied. He trained. He earned his black belt. And then he kept going, eventually earning black belts in multiple disciplines and becoming one of the most decorated martial artists in American history. He founded his own system, Chun Kuk Do. He won the professional middleweight karate championship and held it for 6 consecutive years. He opened martial arts schools across the country, teaching discipline, respect, and the belief that any person could transform themselves through hard work and faith. Before Hollywood ever found him, Chuck Norris had already built something extraordinary, and he had not even made his first movie yet. The path to Hollywood came through an unlikely door: Bruce Lee. In 1972, Chuck Norris appeared alongside the greatest martial artist who ever lived in Way of the Dragon. The fight scene between them, set in the Roman Colosseum, remains one of the most iconic moments in the history of martial arts cinema. Bruce Lee handpicked Chuck Norris for that role because he recognized something in him that the rest of the world was about to discover. This man could move, this man could fight, and this man had something the camera absolutely loved: authenticity. There, the career exploded. Good Guys Wear Black, A Force of One. An Eye for an Eye, The Octagon. Then came the film that turned Chuck Norris into a global phenomenon, Missing in Action, 1984. The story of a Vietnam War veteran going back to rescue American prisoners of war. It was raw. It was powerful. It was exactly what a generation of Americans needed to see. And then, Code of Silence, Invasion USA. Delta Force. Chuck Norris became something that Hollywood had never quite seen before. Not just an action star, not just a martial artist turned actor, he became a symbol of toughness, patriotism, of the belief that one man, with enough skill, enough courage, and enough determination, could stand against any enemy and win. If the movies made Chuck Norris a star, it was television that made him a permanent fixture in American culture. Walker, Texas Ranger debuted in 1993. For 8 seasons, Chuck Norris rode into living rooms across America every Saturday night as Cordell Walker, Texas Ranger, man of justice, man of faith, man of the people. The show ran until 2001, nearly 200 episodes, one of the longest-running action series in the history of CBS, and it connected with audiences in a way that went far beyond entertainment. Because Walker was not just a character. Walker was a value system. He believed in right and wrong, in protecting the innocent, in standing up when everyone else sat down, in faith, family, and the idea that good, with enough conviction, will always defeat evil. Chuck Norris did not just play that character. He lived it. And now we have to talk about the part of Chuck Norris the world rarely saw. Because while the memes made him immortal and the movies made him legendary, the people who knew him best remembered something different. His daughter Danilee described her father as her protector and her safe person. She said that while the world saw a warrior with a tough exterior, the heart inside was full of tenderness and love. His son Dakota honored his father's generosity, kindness, strength, and discipline. He said the lessons and the laughs they shared would stay with him forever. His granddaughter Greta, in one of the most beautiful tributes of all, remembered not the action star, not the martial arts champion, not the meme legend. She remembered Papa, the man who showed up to her soccer games, who cheered her on as proud as he could be, who was, in her words, the man who counted to infinity twice. Even in grief, the family found room for the jokes. Because that is who Chuck Norris was, a man who inspired laughter as much as he inspired awe. His family's statement said it simply and perfectly. To Chuck, his fans were not just fans, they were his friends. March 10th, 2026, Chuck Norris turned 86 years old, and to celebrate, he posted a video of himself training. Still moving, still working, still pushing. The caption read, "And these words hit differently now. I don't age. I level up." 10 days later, he was gone. He had been hospitalized in Hawaii following an undisclosed medical emergency earlier in the week. His family announced his sudden passing on March 20th, saying he was surrounded by his loved ones and at peace. He is survived by his wife, Gina O'Kelly, the woman he has called his greatest blessing, and his 5 children, Mike, Eric, Dina, and twins Dakota and Danilee. A husband, a father, a grandfather, a legend. The joke said Chuck Norris could never die. In the truest sense, he cannot, because legends do not live in bodies. They live in the moments they created, in the people they inspired. And the children who grew up watching Walker ride across the Texas sunset and believed, truly believed, that good people could change the world. Chuck Norris changed the world. Not just through roundhouse kicks and action sequences and 30 years of Hollywood glory, but through the martial arts schools he built, through the lives he shaped, through the faith he lived publicly and unapologetically. Through the way he showed up at soccer games and movie sets and charity events and military bases. For the people who needed him, he was a warrior, a family man, a friend to millions of people he never met. And on March 10th, his last birthday on this earth, he told us exactly who he was. He didn't age. He leveled up. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris. The earth, for once, is going to have to do the push-ups without you.